York's very own muscle building coaches, Anthony Bevilacqua and Pete Kacharian, proudly present to you New York Muscle Radio.
What's up, guys? New York Muscle Radio, episode number 175. Stage prep, shaving, tanning, and manscaping. It's your host, Anthony Bevilacqua, alongside my co-host, Big Pete Kacharian. We got a special podcast today. We're going to discuss the details of stage prep and, I guess, bikini body, beach body prep. We're going to talk all about shaving, how to tan properly for a show, or if you're tanning just in general for an event. We're going to teach you guys how to do this and how to be stage ready. So what's up, big guy? How's everything? You ready to talk about how you manscape?
Yeah.
Do you manscape, or are you wild and loose?
No, man, I shave everything. And, this is a good topic because it's funny because you think it's like a little bit obvious, but there's not that much as far as good resources on this subject out there. And when I first started competing back in 2009, I remember researching this, just trying to find an answer myself. And it's not as easy as you think to find the actual protocol and good advice for coming in contest shape and all you got to do to get there.
Yeah, I mean, you guys got to think about it too. If you go through a whole, dieting phase and you're getting ready for some type of an event, whether it's for the beach or whether it's for the stage, it's like having a really, really nice car, but it being really dirty. So we're going to talk about how to clean up the car today. And guys, I also forgot to mention, head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked, JAKKED. Men and women, head on over there. You get your free 12-week program. Ladies, there is a tab for you guys on there for the Bikini Ready program. So head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/getjacked and pick up your free 12-week training program. But yeah, man, I know. I remember too the first time I had to shave my entire body, because I don't shave regularly. Like I shave, I manscape, and I'm not really a hairy guy, so I don't have to shave. But you're a hairy bastard.
So yeah, that's true. But so wait, you should give everybody the definition. So what exactly is manscaping?
No, when you clean up down there, man, you can't have a mess down there.
Yeah, but does a manscape mean that you shave it clean, or you just clean up down there?
Bald, baby, bald.
Okay, I see where you're going there. So you don't have to shave your entire body. You just do a little manscaping.
Yeah, I just do the manscaping. Yeah, I could probably shave my legs, and I've trimmed my legs, like the hair. But you've seen me. I'm not hairy at all. I barely have any hair on my chest. It's because I'm a little girl with testosterone, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, man, you got to up that T level there. The chest hair is a little sparse.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's fine. I don't have to shave it. So, and to tell you the truth, man, I happen to think hair is freaking gross.
Yeah, that's why I agree. That's why I shave my entire body. I'm just not a fan of hair. I don't care. People say that's weird. People make jokes. Guys are like, that's kind of gay or whatever. Man, I like it. I like it clean. That's my thing.
Wait, so do you shave your armpits?
Yeah, I shave.
You
everything,
do? I never paid attention.
I shave. I once I start shaving my face, I go all the way down to my toes.
Oh God. Yeah, no, I don't shave my armpits. See, we're the total opposites. So I think this would be good because obviously for competition you have to be completely shaven, and I have done that before. But man, when you shave the armpits, it's so itchy when it starts growing back.
Yeah, well, there's a couple things you could do to avoid that, which we're going to get into in this podcast. I don't want to give all that away yet, but there's a way to do it, and if you're not used to it, that's the biggest thing. If you just first start shaving, your skin's not going to tolerate it really well. Plus, when it grows back in, you're going to feel it. You're going to get itchy and stuff like that. But if you take the right steps and you start doing this stuff regularly, you'll be able to do it and not have any issues. So I think that's probably something that maybe you could improve on yourself too. If you start doing it more regularly, you probably won't get that itchiness.
Yeah, I taught myself how to shave, so I never had someone, of your expertise on manscaping and just shaving in general. So I never had anyone teach me. So maybe you could be like, my big brother here, man.
Yeah, if you want, tonight after you take a shower, I could, bring the razor blade in. I'll show you a little trick.
No, man, please. That sounded horrible, man. You're going to have to edit that out, man.
That was the point.
You're going to have to edit that out. All right, guys, remember, today's starting our new layout here. So we're going to get right into today's topic. No other topic, no fitness topic, no intro topic, no listener question. That's all going to be on our after hours show, which will live this week. So head on over to newyorkmuscleradio.com/TV for the after hours show, where we're going to dig deep down into all that other stuff, answer the listener questions, and just be there for you. So Yeah, man. Again, today's topic was really based on a listener request that we got. And basically, I'll read his words. He says, I was curious if you guys could do a podcast on stage prep and bikini prep grooming, manscape, leg shaving, arm shaving, pointers, bronzers, and so on. As a part-time fitness model myself, I keep my arms clean shaven, but cannot bring myself to shave my legs. Man, I don't know. I totally agree. I think it looks a little weird when guys have completely shaved legs. That's why I just trim them just to keep it, under control. But I don't even do that regularly. I probably should. Like, I think I need a trim now. I need, like, a haircut down there. My legs.
Well, I guess it depends what your wife likes, and for anybody who's not married, what their female friends like. I never had a female tell me that it didn't look good that my entire body was shaven. I either got the compliment, oh, that's nice, you keep it nice and clean and trim, and you shave your entire body, or I get just the ones that are indifferent. But I've never had a girl say like, that's weird, you shave. So I guess it depends on preference.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some ladies listening to this that would think it's weird if a guy's completely shaven.
I hear that a lot, but I've never interacted with one personally, to be honest with you.
All right, so I guess we'll roll right into shaving. So when I'm talking to you directly on this because again, like I said, I've shaven before a contest, but obviously I just do it a couple days before. But and actually we should talk about that because the first topic here with shaving is when. But if you're planning on being on stage on a Saturday, you have to make sure you're shaven completely at least 1 or 2 days before, because sometimes you can develop some type of razor burn and any type of thing like that. You don't want any water held under the skin. So make sure you shave as far out as you can, but not too far out where it's going to start to grow back.
Yeah. So as far as when you should shave, we should actually back it up even further. If you've never shaved your body before, don't wait until the last 2 or 3 days before a contest to shave the first time.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how your body's going to respond to it. You don't know what your sensitivity to shaving is. You don't know if you're using the right razor blade. Or if your technique is right. You might nick yourself. You might. I mean, if you don't know how to shave right, you can cause really bad razor burn. And if this is your first competition, your first time shaving your body, doing that 2 days before a contest could be a disaster, because you could break out from head to toe in razor burn, and that's not going to be good. Like you said, you're going to hold water under the skin from irritation. Plus, if you have bumps all over your body, it's going to show while you're on stage. You don't want to do that. So, I'd say for everybody, once you start your contest prep, if you've never shaved before, start shaving right at the beginning of your contest prep to see how your body's going to respond. If you break out, then okay, I have to get my skin used to this. Maybe I need to change my razor blade or change whatever it is I'm using, because even using a dull razor blade or a bad quality one will cause that. So you want to figure out all this stuff before you get to, the last week of the show, where you have to put the final touch on. And you have to use the right blade, technique, and everything to look good. So you want to use the whole contest prep to figure it out. That's definitely my advice.
Yeah, it's a good point, man. And actually, for those of you who aren't familiar with shaving, like I am, I mean, like I said, I shave my face regularly and I manscape regularly, but that's about it. But I have very, very sensitive skin. If I use a razor, I will break out with razor burn everywhere. So for me, I just use a buzzer. And you can get a foil buzzer too, and that gets it all the way down to the skin and actually looks like a real shave. So that's exactly what I do. And like I said, for my legs, I'll just literally trim them. But on contests, I'll just use the buzzer. I'll buzzer all the way up. And actually, that's not a bad idea too. If you can tolerate regular shaving with a razor, buzz off all the hair first. You don't want to be cutting that through, especially if your hair is very long. If it's the first time you're shaving and using a razor right away, that might not be a good idea too. So buzz it down first, and then use the razor. What kind of razor do you use, man? I'm just curious.
I use a straight razor, actually. So I
don't know what that means. What's a straight razor?
So
is that like the barber uses?
Yeah. So if you
is that like a fucking razor blade when they attach the razor blade to the
yeah, you
stick?
just you buy an extra razor blade. You switch it out every time you shave, and you use it instead of getting the typical, like most men, well, women too, but most men might buy like a Schick or a Gillette razor blade, like a disposable razor blade, or one that you could change the head on it. They're like $3 or $4 each razor blade. If you buy a straight razor blade, you might pay a few cents for each blade and just keep switching them out. Now, you can cut yourself really bad. In fact, you could actually, if you cut yourself bad enough, you could just bleed out with a straight razor blade. So there is a little bit of a technique involved to not cut yourself, not irritate yourself. And you will definitely get worse razor burn with a straight razor blade if you don't do it correctly. But if you do it correctly, you could also get a better shave, a closer shave, because you're using just a straight razor against your skin.
That's interesting. One of the things too some advice that I was given was to actually use like a lady's razor for a guy if they have really sensitive skin. That usually helps. But for me, I've tried everything. I've tried those stupid. I never actually tried a straight razor, so that's interesting that you say that. But I've tried like even the stupid ones that vibrate and like whatever they're supposed to like vibrate and supposed to be whatever be better. The ones that move more, the really expensive ones, the really cheap ones. And every single time I break out with razor burn, all like on my face, especially my neck. Oh my god.
Well, there's a couple of things you can do too to not break out. One, like I said, the biggest thing is
I guess we're going to that.
No, all right. Well, we could go ahead, but I'm still answering what you're saying.
About when?
No, you're saying that you break out from shaving no matter what. So I'm saying there's a couple of things you can do to prevent that.
Yeah, hold off on that, big guy.
Okay.
So how often do you regularly shave then? So like you regularly shave your whole body. How often do you actually do that?
Twice a week, more or less. My body.
Isn't that time consuming?
I might let it grow out for like a week maximum. But my hair grows so fast that if I let it grow out for a full week, it's almost fully in. So my face I shave like 2 or 3 times a week. My body's like once or twice a week, more or less, because my face does grow faster. But yeah, it's a little time consuming. But when you kind of have it down, a system. I shave in the shower.
Yeah, a lot of guys shave in the shower actually.
So it just goes with my shower, so it's part of the process, and so it doesn't really take too much time up. Like I said, it's something I do regularly. I've been shaving my entire body for years, so like I said, it's a routine, and I could do it fast. And again, that's part of me being used to doing it. If it was your first time, and you're gonna shave your entire body, set aside a little bit of time because you're gonna have to do it slow. And you're gonna have to make sure you do it right, or else you're gonna nick yourself. You're gonna irritate your skin, and it's just not gonna come out well. And then you're probably never gonna do it again.
So you do your entire body in the shower. And you said you could do it rather quickly. Do you use shaving cream on your body or just straight up with the water and the razor?
Yeah, I use shaving cream. I use like the gel instead of the cream, so it's not the typical in the can. It's like I forget which brand I get. I usually either get Gillette or Brute or something. I forget what it is. So it's like a gel. It looks like toothpaste almost when it comes out.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different. It doesn't make a big difference. I mean, you could even shave just with soap if you had to, but you're not going to get a nice, clean, smooth, shave with it. If you have the soap, the shaving cream is a little bit better for that. But I just throw some on in the shower and I go. And that's a big part of doing it in the shower too, is because that actually preps the skin, because you want to open up the pores, and you want to make this. The heat itself is going to open up the pores. And it's also going to loosen up the hairs. So you're not going to be pulling against dry skin. You're not going to be pulling against, tight pores and everything like that. So the shave will be smoother. That's why you definitely want to do it in the shower or after you shower. You want to loosen it up with the hot water.
So now, question. How the hell do you reach the areas like that you can't really see? And how do you know that you really got everything?
Well, the good thing is I don't really have a hairy back. So there's no spots on me that I can't really see as far as what I have to shave.
What about like the back of your legs?
I could turn my legs around to see them. I'm not really that hairy back there anyway. Like that's not. I got small legs. No, that's not really a problem. I mean, if I had a hairy back, then I've seen these weird devices where they kind of look like back scratchers with razor blades on the end of them. So you could reach around and shave like that. But I don't have to do that.
So you don't shave your back then? So that's the one area.
No, there's no hair on my back actually. I grow hair everywhere except for my back.
So. All right, so you could basically see, because I like what I said, if I trim my leg hair, it's hard for me to see like the back of my legs, my hamstrings. I never know but that's also because I'm not going down to bald. So I guess it's hard for me to like, is this even?
You could also go by feel a little bit too. There's not that much hair on the back of your hamstrings where you'll miss big spots. So as long as you just cover the whole surface area once or twice, you're good.
So now let's hear the technique here. I want to hear the technique on how to actually use the straight razor, because I'm just curious. The technique you use, because I've never actually thought about even shaving with a straight razor. That's actually a really smart idea.
Well, the straight razor, I mean, the thing is the way...
Well, wait, hold on. Let's back up a little bit. So what about for women, man? Can a woman use a straight razor?
Yeah, of course. They probably don't need to. You know what I mean? It's not going to add any additional benefit because you're not pulling such thick hair. You're not shaving such thick hair. So usually see, the thing with a woman's razor blade is that it's going to be a little more dull, but it's not going to irritate you as much. So you're not going to have to scrape really, really thick hair. It's little peach fuzzes. You don't need, you could even use a buzzer to take peach fuzz off. That's not a problem. I know some women actually do have very thick hair, but even so, a thick hair for a female is not going to be like a man's thick hair. So a straight razor blade might not be needed, but it can be used. Generally the sharper the razor blade, the better it's going to shave, but you also have the potential to cut yourself more, to irritate yourself more because you're running a razor blade over skin. So there's a potential to cause razor burn with that.
So now here's the question, man. You like your women shaving and clean, right?
Of course. I expect the same thing done. If I'm going to shave my entire body and the woman doesn't, then something's a little weird, right?
Hey, you never know. Some women do that, like, what is it called, the landing strip?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't need that.
I've never seen that in person, in real life.
Yeah, me either. Take that shit off.
Yeah.
Completely clean. Bald.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody's got their thing, though.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be my thing. But, yes, I agree. All right, so let's talk about razor burn. So I'm curious now. So how do you avoid razor burn? I couldn't even answer this question because I get it from anything. But I have really sensitive skin, so I'm curious what advice you're going to give, aside from shaving in the shower.
Yeah, the thing is, I actually have sensitive skin myself, too. Probably just as sensitive as yours, but I've built up a tolerance to that, and that's kind of the key. Because I remember the first time I shaved, I broke out so bad. I had like scars on my arms and on my legs. It was that bad. It broke out so bad that the red marks stayed there for so long. They basically scarred. And I'm talking like for months. That's how bad it was. So I have very sensitive skin, so I can't afford to mess that up because I'll get it again. But since I've been shaving regularly for years now, the key was, and this was the mistake I made the first time. The first time around, I just shaved it right against the grain. Because, if you shave against the grain, you're going to get a much closer shave. It's going to pull all the hair off. If you shave with the grain, it's going to leave a little bit of hair because you're pushing the hair down when you shave against the grain. When you shave with the grain. When you shave against the grain, you're pulling it back. So you're kind of like lifting the hair up as you shave it. But the problem is, again, you're going to really irritate the hair follicles and the roots of it if you're not used to it. So the technique in the beginning is just shave it against the grain. You're not going to get a complete clean shave. It's going to be very, very short. If you have a lot of hair, it's going to look shaven, but you'll see little hairs. The key with that is it's not going to irritate the skin as much, but you're going to kind of train it a little bit. You're going to get your body used to it. Give it like a full week. Don't shave it again. Let everything heal again and then shave again with the grain. Do that a couple times till your body can really handle it. Then try it once against the grain. You might break out a little bit, but you're not going to break out as bad as if you never did that before. So the key is, I'd say, especially again for contest prep, beach prep, whatever it is, when you're starting your contest prep, first few times at the start of the prep, just shave your body. Go with the grain. Don't even go against the grain. You probably won't get irritated. You'll be okay. Let it grow back in. Do it again, once a week for like maybe the first month. Then give it a try. Start going against the grain. See how your body responds. I bet you if you do that over time, your body won't break out as much, and then eventually you won't break out at all.
Now, isn't there certain areas on your body that you have to go against the grain with? Because I'm thinking about my neck. Like, which way did the hair go? I don't even know.
Well, that's the thing too. Especially for me, on my face and my beard, my hair will grow in all different directions. So you have to be able to look at your hair and see which direction it's actually growing in. So, my neck, part of my neck the hair might grow up. The other side of my neck might grow down. So you can't just keep running the blade in the same direction. You want to go over that area of hair wherever the direction it's actually growing in. So you have to look at your hair and actually pay attention to it. Don't just take a long, stroke and just take it all off, because you're going to cut some of it with the grain, some of it without the grain.
Yeah, that's me, because I have no patience.
Well, if you're using a buzzer, it's really not going to be that big of a deal anyway, because the buzzer's not like a razor blade running against it. You're kind of, especially if you're using the foil shaver, it's going over it. So you're not really going to go with the grain or against the grain with a foil shaver. But, if you're using a straight razor especially, you want to make sure in the beginning you're running with the grain, because you're going to irritate yourself if your skin's not used to it.
That's super interesting, man. I still can't believe I never thought about shaving with one of those things.
Yeah, it's, since I started doing it, as far as, just, again, if you got to shave your face 2 or 3 times a week, your entire body once or twice a week, and you're using those disposable razors where, like, again, I said you're paying like $3 or $4 a shave for one shave. You know how much money you spend on razor blades? I just couldn't do it. So I had to switch over to straight razors and then just buy them in bulk. You know, I buy like 1,000 razor blades for like $15 or $20. You know, it lasts me months for $20. You know, you could walk into CVS right now and you could buy 5 razor blades for $20.
Yeah. Interesting. So now, razors versus buzzers. Let's talk about that when it comes to shaving. So again, we touched on a lot of this already, but basically, again, if you have really, really sensitive skin, you can get away with just using a buzzer. I used a buzzer when I did bodybuilding. Again, I don't have a lot of hair though, so for me it was just, you know, one quick swip of the buzzer and it was gone. So yeah, you could use either one, but again, you want to try to get as close as possible. But if you're going to use a razor and you do have sensitive skin, I recommend, like we said earlier, starting weeks out all the way in the beginning and really start practicing then. And yeah, I prefer a buzzer. Just for me, it's a lot easier. And the only problem with a buzzer is you can get one that can go in the shower too. So you can get the waterproof one, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, I've used buzzers too. Do you use a body groomer or just a regular beard trimmer?
It's a regular. Yeah, you have to get a waterproof one though.
Yeah, I've used body groomers too. I've experimented with those too as well. And you know, actually, that's another good alternative if you just really have bad skin, as far as sensitive skin, and it just doesn't really take to shaving too well. You can get away with using a good body groomer. You know, some of them do have foil heads on them, which will get it down to the skin pretty close. I mean, it's not going to be anywhere near, at least for body hair, it's not going to be anywhere near a straight razor. But, you know, if you're competing, your goal is you just want to display that physique and you don't want it to be covered up by hair. If you have a little bit of hair because you use the body groomer as opposed to a straight razor and you cover the rest up with tanning, the judges aren't going to see that hair from the stage. Yeah. So you can get away with that no problem. It's just a matter of if you really want it down to the skin. If you want a nice, clean, smooth shave, I mean, you're going to feel stubble on your arms, your legs, everything like that using a body groomer. But, you know, if you don't want to go through the route of shaving and you want to go fast and just kind of buzz it off and not really worry about irritation, you'll be okay with that. I did that for a while. I never competed doing that method. But as far as, you know, throughout the off season, pre-contest and stuff like that, I've used buzzers. Just to keep it simple, you know, and I've used every method too as far as hair removal. I've used Nair for men.
Oh God, does that actually work?
It not really, but it does, and it's a huge pain in the ass. Like, I wouldn't even recommend that. I tried that first, actually. My first bodybuilding competition, I tried that. It stinks, it stings, and it takes about like 50% of the hair off, and it could irritate. That could irritate your skin even more. So. Nah, guys, just shave it. I mean, you could also go the route of waxing.
You wax your entire body?
No, I wouldn't even try that. But I actually have had my arms waxed and
You'd be like 40-year-old virgin.
I've had my arms waxed and my legs waxed, and damn, like when I tell you, as far as, you know, that's not razor burn, but skin irritation. The skin irritation I've gotten from waxing is way worse than razor burn. You know, the one plus side is it won't grow back as fast. But in the meantime, you can have red spots all over you. So it kind of defeats
you're really
the purpose.
passionate about shaving, huh?
Well, I you know, I've done this so many times. I mean, now I just shave, but I've tried all these methods, you know, along the years that I started bodybuilding and everything like that. So I tried to figure out what works. Like anything else, man. I you know, with everything we put out there, I try it all, and then I tell you guys what actually works.
So hold on, I just want to touch on something. So you use a straight razor, which is extremely dangerous. You can, like you said, you can cut your neck and bleed out. And you manscape. Do you manscape with the straight razor?
No, I don't do that, actually. I do have a buzzer specifically for manscaping, but I have manscaped with the straight razor. I've took a few chances before. The problem is with that is, obviously, it's very dangerous, but at the same time, too, when you get into certain areas...
You lose half of it.
Yeah, you know, it's not worth it.
1 inch, man.
It's not worth the risk. Yeah, but no, the problem is, and this is with everything, not even just that area. When you have a straight razor in certain area of bodies where there's a lot of bends and curves and stuff like that, like even when you're talking about like around your elbows and things like that, a buzzer will actually work a little better because you kind of get in and out of that area. Even like, you know, under the armpits too. A straight razor in that area is kind of tough, you know, because you just have a straight blade, but your armpit's not flat. So a buzzer in those areas actually work a little bit better. But again, you're not going to get it completely down. So my advice for anybody that is, if you're using a straight razor or even a regular razor blade, but you have a buzzer too, use the razor blade in all those areas up until you kind of get to the point where you have those creases and crevices and things like that. And then, just fill that area in a little with the buzzer if you have to. But a lot of times people don't have hair in that area. So depends for everybody.
Yeah, one of the things I think we should talk about too, also, even if you don't compete, this is important to actually do and keep up with regularly. Like I said, if you have a brand new Ferrari, but if that thing never is washed, you're kind of dull having a Ferrari. You want to make sure that thing is always clean. Same thing with your body. If your armpit hair is out of control, buzz that shit down. You don't got to take it down to anything, but you could definitely trim it. That's like kind of one of the things that I do. Like I said, I don't shave my legs completely, but I do keep them clean. Like I keep them looking clean because I just feel like it looks dirty when you have a lot of hair on your legs. Yeah. So I just buzz it down and I keep it clean. So it still looks like if someone looks at it, there's still hair there. They don't look at like, oh, you shave your legs. So I never get that, but it looks clean. It looks much neater. So same thing. Even if you looks like you have Don King in a headlock, trim that shit, man. It's not cool.
Yeah,
it definitely add to your physique too.
Yeah. I mean, if you're competing on stage, you're gonna have. There's no way around it. You're gonna have to remove all that hair. If you show up to a bodybuilding contest, physique contest, and you have hair anywhere, you didn't follow the instructions. You're not gonna be fitting the mold. But if you're even doing just a photo shoot or you want to get ready for the beach or whatever, you're gonna take pictures. It will absolutely enhance your appearance if you at least tame that hair. You know what I mean? Like Anthony said. Yeah. If you're a man and you're gonna do photo shoots at the beach or something like that, you don't necessarily have to shave the hair off your calves. You don't have to. Depending on your physique and how you're posing and stuff like that, it might help. And I probably would do it myself. But like Anthony said, you can just trim it. If you get really hairy legs or something like that, and you're taking a photo shoot that's showing off your physique, you're gonna look better if you tame that hair.
Yeah, definitely. I pride myself on being a manly man. So for me, shaving my legs is just something that like I can't do this regularly. Plus, I also have to be blessed with not having a lot of body hair either. So, but I will take the buzzer out and trim whatever does grow, when it comes time for the beach. Because you always do look a little bit better when you have that. You don't want the hair there. It looks ugly. And for me, it looks dirty. Some guys like the hair look, man. Like my friend doesn't want to shave his hairy chest. He likes it. Some women actually prefer hairy chest. So, but guys don't prefer a hairy chest, ladies. So don't do that either. That's not cute.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's like I said, everybody has their own preference. I mean, if you're talking about for physique purposes, it's kind of a mandatory, thing, whether you like it or not. I mean, if I never had to take a picture again, or if I never had to step on stage again, I would still do it just because that's my preference.
Yeah.
Do you want to get the results you've always dreamed of? Do you want coaches that genuinely care, are professional, and get back to you in a timely manner? Do you want to be stronger, healthier, and look better naked? Then let me tell you, New York Muscle Radio is definitely your answer. Since working with them, I can hardly believe the results.
They coached me through a post-contest reverse diet and all the way through to an off-season strength program.
These two fitness geniuses have pushed me outside of my comfort zone, and in the process, I have been able to make big jumps on all of my major lifts.
In 14 weeks, I added 100 pounds to my powerlifting total and smashed my first meet.
Since working with them, I've added 55 pounds to my squat, 50 pounds to my deadlift, and 20 pounds to my bench press.
And in 12 weeks, I dropped over 10 pounds of body fat and added over 20 pounds to all my lifts.
I have never had as amazing of glutes as I have training with them. So I can say, no matter what your goals are, you're guaranteed to be stronger, healthier, and let's face it, better looking if Pete and Anthony are your coaches.
So if you are tuning in to listen and learn from the huge array of knowledge these two have, or if you want to hire them as your coaches, you will not be disappointed.
New York Muscle Radio is the best in the business.
You heard it from our New York Muscle Radio clients. Do you want to join our team and reach your fitness goals? Visit NewYorkMuscleRadio.com for all our coaching programs.
But I'll tell you what, when I'm done, my biceps are humongous. Humongous. Like that, bang!
My name is Anthony Bevilacqua, and I'm the host of New York Muscle Radio podcast. My arms have been a weak point for years. When I started training, my arms measured 11 inches. Even after many years of hardcore training, nothing would get them to grow. With the help of my co-host, Big Pete, we set out on a mission to gain 1 solid inch to my arms in 12 weeks.
In the greatest experiment of all.
12 weeks later, this program finally helped me get 18-inch arms. The 12-week arm experiment, the ultimate arm growth program, ebook, the audio book, and the workout video. pick up your copy now on NewYorkMuscleRadio.com.
Hey, great coffee.
Doesn't it taste good as fresh perk?
Better.
Better than those girls make at the office?
Honey, their coffee can't hold a candle to yours.
Caffeine, the world's only instant coffee that's fortified with muscle-building protein. Visit buyproteincoffee.com now.
Damn.
Nice, Pete.
What?
I saw you checking out that girl's butt.
What? I was just checking out her yoga pants.
Pete.
I was thinking you'd look really good in yoga pants.
Uh-huh.
I was like trying to check out what brand it was. Like I was looking at her form on deadlifts. They were all messed up.
Do you think she has a nicer butt than me?
Well, it definitely doesn't look like a pancake.
Did you just call my butt a pancake?
Well, I mean...
What can I do?
You gotta try New York Muscle Radio's Glutylicious program.
Glutylicious?
Yeah, you'll finally get a celebrity booty, like all the other girls following the program.
Fine, I'll do it. But don't get jealous when other guys check out my glutylicious ass.
Glutylicious, your guide to getting a celebrity booty in 12 weeks. Now available exclusively at NewYorkMuscleRadio.com.
What's up, New York Muscle Radio listeners? It's your co-host, Big Pete Kacharian, and I'm glad you're all listening. Put down that tilapia and asparagus. Learn how to get bigger, stronger, and leaner eating what you want. Pick up a copy of Cracking the Flexible Dieting Code exclusively at NewYorkMuscleRadio.com. But for now, let's get to the show.
All right, so now let's talk about the obvious here. So again, I guess this is more for competitors. Obviously, having a well-groomed haircut and eyebrows is also extremely important too. You want to make sure you're presenting a beautiful package on stage, so you want to make sure everything is up to par. If you need a haircut and you step on stage, well, it's kind of going to look funny on your body. I mean, they really don't judge you on that, but you just want to have the winning look, and that the winning look is going to, be everything, not just one thing, not just the physique. So a good haircut, nice eyebrow trim will definitely look good on stage. And again, if you have an event or a wedding, you always want to make sure you're clean cut. But I think that's kind of common sense. But I figured I'd touch upon it because a lot of some guys don't take care of their eyebrows, man. I mean, I know you do regularly. You get them waxed?
No, I just tweeze them myself, actually. I mean, I've done it all. Again, I've gotten them waxed. I've gotten them threaded. I
never did threaded. I've done wax, and I tweeze them myself too. But I've never done threaded. That hurts, I heard.
Yeah, it's pretty painful. I mean, I wouldn't say it's any more or less painful than waxing, but it's a little bit fast. No, it's not faster. But it's a little bit better because you're not going to irritate the skin. Again, this comes down to just like shaving and waxing. Waxing is going to get those hairs out of the roots, but it's going to really irritate the skin. You're going to have you're not going to have hair there, but you might have red spots all over your face now, across your forehead, depending how sensitive you are. Threading is not really going to do that because it's just pulling the hair out of the roots. It's a string. It just pulls it right out. It's pretty much tweezing, but doing 1,000 hairs at once instead of one hair at a time. So it's a lot faster than tweezing. But again, that's part of just, taming it and keeping it neat. So whatever you personally need to get done, that's what you need to do. Some guys don't need to do that. Some guys just might need to trim them with scissors because they're too long. Other guys might be able to grow a mustache across the forehead, which I'm sure I could do it too if I tried. So you gotta pull those out and you gotta keep it clean.
Yeah, my last barber actually used to take the buzzer and actually trim down my eyebrows like that. I loved it because it was 1, 2, 3, it was done. I was too afraid to try that on my own, but he would literally take the blade, but I don't know what number he would put it on, and just buzz, and it would just take off all like the hairs. Like, sometimes your hair grows long, whatever. Yeah. But it would just clean it up so well. And like I said, for me, I pride myself in being a rugged man, and I'm not, I don't like to shave, whatever, my whole body. So like I hate getting my eyebrows waxed. So I just again, I'm blessed with not a lot of hair, so I just tweeze everything and keep it clean. But that was so easy, man. 1, 2, 3, one side done, and it looked really good. I just can't repeat that on my own. But yeah, sometimes you can get away with doing that. Again, I would be very afraid to try that on your own because if you miss or fuck up, you're done. Yeah, half an eyebrow.
Yeah. But good thing is it'll always go back, guys. So if you fuck up, just don't go out in public for a couple of days.
You can't hide that.
You could be like the old women and just draw them on with the crayon or the pencil or whatever it is.
The crayon, the permanent marker.
Yeah.
All right, man. So tell us the secret. How to avoid being itchy. We spent a lot of time on shaving, man. I'm surprised. I didn't know you were such a shaving expert, man. I'll tip my hat to you on this one.
Yeah, well, I don't know what you call it. I just do it personally. I'm just speaking on personal experience. I never shaved anybody else before, so
I sincerely hope you haven't shaved any other men, man.
So I don't know about an expert. That might require me to work with some other people on it. But
maybe you shaved a girl. I don't know.
No, I don't think I've never done that before.
You never know, man. Have you ever taken a shower with a girl?
Yeah, but I've never shaved. I never took out the razor and said, "All right, let me start to shave you." Never really crossed my mind.
I don't know what the hell you're into,
I don't know. Like if I'm in the shower with a female, like a lot of things go on, and I'm like thinking about doing a lot of things, but never was one like, "Let me shave you."
You never washed each other.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I never thought like, okay, let me get the razor blade out and start shaving.
You want to shave me today? I don't know.
No, I never know what you're into before. No,
you're too private a person. Don't look at me. Don't look at me in the shower.
No, I was just thinking about that, though. I was like, no, I've never done that before. Anyway, what was the question?
So how to avoid being itchy?
Okay, so the reason you get itchy in the first place is, if you have long hair and you're letting it grow in, the first place it generally grows is in a straight line. So with a straight line, hair grows in, it usually presses against your skin. So that's why you're feeling that itchiness that comes in. So for men, if you get it shaving your face, I don't know, do you get an itchy face after you shave it all?
My neck.
So when you feel it in your neck, is that generally how many days after you shave do you feel it? It's probably
so I shaved on Saturday.
Days.
I shaved on Saturday and I'm feeling itchy today. It's Monday.
Saturday, something. Okay, so and when do you normally shave? So would you shave like tomorrow or something?
See, like I said, I'm very blessed. I don't have a lot of hair that grows in, so I'm only required to shave once a week.
Okay, so the shaving process and timing will affect that itchiness because when it's growing in, like I said, eventually it's going to get long enough where it's going to press against the skin, and when it presses against the skin, that's when it gets itchy. So for everybody, that's going to be different. For Anthony, it's like 2 or 3 days in, but that's probably about normal depending how fast your skin grows. For guys who have to shave really frequently, that might be a day or two because the hair grew in long enough where it's starting to press against the skin. Now, that's always the middle part of it. So the first few days, you're not going to feel it. Then kind of the middle point of growing in, you're going to feel it. Then when it gets long enough now, the hair is long enough where it's not pressing against the skin anymore because it got long enough to just fall where it naturally wants to. So you might notice if you're growing out a beard or something like that, or if you're shaving your body hair and it's been a couple of days, now you're starting to feel itchy. It's because you let it grow in enough where it's pressing against the skin, but it's not long enough where it's not pressing against the skin anymore. So for myself, that's also part of the reason why I shave so frequently is 1 or 2 days in, the hair is growing in. It's not long enough where it's going to press against the skin. So if I start shaving it again now, it's never going to really press against the skin and cause irritation. So that's the way I like to do it. But if you let it fully grow out, you're just going to feel it kind of itching for a couple days. Then when it fully grows out, it's going to kind of get past that stage. And then you're probably due to shave again anyway.
So you're saying basically because I'm itchy right now, I should shave right now again?
If you want to prevent that from happening.
But I don't have enough. I mean, I could always buzz it down and it'd be smooth skin all the time. But I don't have a lot of facial hair right now.
No, but you have enough where if you had to shave it, you could. Yeah, you have enough. You have a little scruff. You'd have to get your skin used to it though again, because if you don't shave frequently, then you're gonna break out more often. So if you're just shaving one time a week, I wouldn't say okay, just start shaving it every 2 days now. But I would say okay, instead of once every 7 days, do it once every 5 days and once every 3 days maybe.
So much work. I freaking hate shaving, man.
You use a little buzzer, man. How long does that take you? 2 minutes?
Still, it's so annoying. It's such an annoying habit. I hate it so much. I want to get my face lasered. I never want to have to shave again. I hate it, man. You know, one of my clients actually, he got he had a hairy back, so he got his back lasered. It actually worked. It actually worked really well. His hair didn't grow back. It's crazy.
My brother got that done too.
Did it work?
He got it done, I think, like twice or something, and they said they had to do it like 3 times, but like it pretty much almost like 90% of it was gone.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I want to get my face, and then you know what I want to do? My my hairline, my tape up line. So I never have to do that.
My hairline's starting to recede. I can't really afford to start pulling it back anymore.
Really?
Not really. No, you know what it is? It's not receding, but I have a pretty large forehead to begin with, so any little bit I lose, it looks like I aged like 10 years. You know when a barber cuts your hair and sometimes if it goes too high with the hairline, it looks like you just got 10 years older in one haircut?
Dude, you think way too much, man.
You don't have that problem?
Nah, man, you just think way too much.
You got a good head of hair, man. God bless you.
All right, let's talk about tanning now. Let's move on to tanning because we spent way too much time on shaving. I really thought that was going to take us 10 minutes to get through, and it didn't. So
we got to give you guys the right information, the right advice.
Yeah, man, listen, I appreciated that because I don't shave as often as you do. So, all right, let's move on to tanning. So, again, obviously for contest prep, tanning is a vital part of contest prep and being on stage. Basically, you want to be as dark as possible when stepping on stage because you don't want that light from the stage to wash you out and look like you have no definition. So the reason why we get so dark and the reason why you look as dark as possible is because it will keep all your definition on. So this way, no matter how bright the lights are, you'll be able to see the definition. So that's why it's important to be very, very dark. So before we even talk about tanning, let's talk about the skin preparation that we need to do before we even start tanning. So one of the things that's very, very important is you have to exfoliate your skin. Did you want to talk about this? Because I haven't done this in a while, and you probably do this on a regular basis.
No, actually, I don't.
You put those cucumbers on your eyes at night, man, too?
No, I've never done that before.
The facial thing?
No, you see, I kind of skip all the steps that I don't see immediate results from. And, exfoliating is one of them. Like shaving, you see immediate results. Exfoliating, the whole purpose behind it is you're kind of going to scrape off the dead skin. You're going to, if you have dry skin, it's going to just get all that stuff off you. It's going to open up the pores and everything like that, which is good. You should be doing that anyway, just for general cleanliness and overall health for your skin and everything like
I don't
that.
think you have to do that regularly.
You
at
should,
least for a guy anyway.
You should at least semi-regularly. I mean, I never do it unless there's a specific reason for me to do it. I don't regularly do it. I'm just saying as far as, if you want to keep your skin as healthy as you can, it's a good idea to do it. But for tanning purposes, and then that's the only purpose I'll do it for, it's pretty much mandatory because you want to get that dead skin off you because you have a lot of it. You don't realize it. If you have dead skin on you and you go to start applying a tanning products and stuff like that, what's going to happen is that tanning product's just going to sit on top of the dead skin, and you could scrape dead skin off your arms. So that tanning product's going to go with the dead skin. So exfoliating is mandatory, and you don't have to go crazy and do it every day, but let's say you're going to apply your tanning product before you even apply the first coat. I'd say for 2 or 3 days before it, make sure you exfoliate your skin for sure because you want to get all that dead skin off of you. Yeah,
make sure you scrub really good too with a good exfoliant. And it feels weird because it feels like those little rock things, and you put it on your body and it comes off. You really actually do feel a lot cleaner after you exfoliate your skin. And again, you have to make sure you get all the areas of your body too. Don't just do your arms.
Yeah.
Get everywhere, especially in your chest, like the clavicle part, right dead in the center of your chest. Because sometimes if you don't exfoliate in those places, you'll get blotches. So you want to try to avoid blotches as much as you can. Use it on your elbows too. That definitely will help, and your back too, because a lot of people's backs can be blotchy too when they put the tanning on.
Yeah, and if you don't think you have a lot of dry and dead skin, because you might not even see it unless you go in the shower. For anybody who hasn't done it before, I don't know about you, man, you might give it a try. When you go in the shower, when you start washing yourself, take your nails and just drag it across your skin anywhere, your arms or your chest. I guarantee you.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Give it a try, man. Give it a try. You're gonna do this later. And you're gonna think about me, man. Do this.
My wife is actually texting me right now, and she said "Beauty 101."
Yes, that's what this is.
She's listening to our
Beauty for Bodybuilders 101. Scrape your nails on your skin while you're in the shower. If you do it while you're out of the shower, nothing's gonna happen. But if you have dry skin, you'll pull it. You'll see it underneath your nails. You'll pull a lot of dead skin off. Give it a try, man. I'm gonna make a believer out of you by the end of this podcast.
I've done that before, man. I've done that before.
So
yes,
if you want, but what I'm trying,
you're crazy, man. You're like the Howie Mandel. Do you wash with Clorox too?
No, what I'm trying to tell you guys, look, and the reason this all ties in. There's a specific reason I'm telling you to do this. So if you're exfoliating before you're doing a bodybuilding competition, and you want to make sure all the dead skin is off of you, and you exfoliate for a couple of days, your last shower, go in there, use your nails and check, see if there's skin that's going to come up underneath your nails. If there's skin under your nails, you didn't exfoliate enough, and now if you go put the tanning product on, it's going to sit on that dead skin that you just pulled off with your nails. So that's a good test if you exfoliated correctly or not, because some people might go in, they might just use the loofah and whatever they're using to exfoliate, and nothing happens. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that you did the job.
What do you clean yourself with? What kind of soap? Do you use bar soap, or do you?
I just use a bar of soap for my whole body. I don't use shampoo. I don't use conditioner. I just use Ivory or whatever bar of soap I have.
Even on your hair and your head?
Yes. I just use soap. I used to use like Neutrogena and stuff from my skin on my face, and that shit used to just make me break out. I started using bar
man,
soap.
That's so funny that you say that, man. When I was a kid too, that would make my face break out like crazy.
Yeah, and the whole purpose of it is to prevent acne, but it used to give me
I never
acne.
understood that.
So I threw that shit in the garbage. I threw out shampoo. I threw out conditioner, and I just used a bar of soap on my head. And apparently that's supposed to dry out my scalp, but you know what? I think I still have a decent head of hair, and you know.
You just said your hairline's receding, man. Maybe that's why.
No, that's just from
actually, you're not supposed to wash your hair every day. It's very bad for your hair because there's a lot of natural oils in your hair. So you're supposed to actually let your hair kind of get a little dirty and not wash your hair.
Yeah. I'm too
it's
clean
true,
for
though,
that
man,
shit,
because
though.
your hair produces oil, huh?
I'm too clean for that shit, though.
That's all right. I mean, I wash my hair every day too. My wife does too, so our hair's still in. But yeah, that's like what they say. You're not supposed to wash your hair every day.
I don't know.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
All right. So before we talk about, because the exfoliating, the scrubbing, and all that other stuff, that definitely can go for either contest prep or if you're getting ready for the beach or a vacation or whatnot. Let's talk about a base tan. Let's talk about beach ready first of all for right now. Let's talk about base tanning. So obviously, if you're planning on getting ready for a vacation or something, you're obviously going to be in the sun more than you normally would be, I'm assuming. So you want to develop a base tan first of all, because this way when you get out on your vacation, showing off your beach ready body, you're going to end up getting burnt, and that's not a cool look because then you'll be red and you won't be able to enjoy yourself because you won't have that base tan. So I definitely recommend getting a base tan in that sense. Maybe you go to if you don't have access to the sun, maybe if you live in Alaska and you're listening to this, I would definitely recommend going tanning. I'm not sure if they have tanning boots in Alaska, but maybe if one of our Alaska listeners could let us know. But if there is a tanning booth there, definitely go tanning a couple times before you head out on the beach. And one of the things too with tanning that I noticed, a lot of people go tanning and they just literally stand in the bed like a mummy. So I like to usually do a stand-up bed, and I'll keep my arms up in the air. I'll move my body around because you don't want to be, if you're lying down settled in one spot, you'll literally get a base tan on those areas. As soon as you hit the sun, you'll have like weird sunburn marks, and that's happened to me so many times before. So, and my skin is rather fair, so you have to exfoliate, you have to scrub because that's really important before you tan too. And then go tanning. Like I said, develop that base tan first. You can even do this for contest prep. A lot of guys do it because it does help dry out the skin, quote unquote. I always felt good doing it. It's always nice to feel that warmth on your body, especially when your contest prep always kind of cold. So for me, that tanning always helped with that too. But definitely develop a base tan first. And this way, when you basically want to get your body ready for the time that you're going to be on the beach. This way, when you're out at the beach, you can actually have a good time and not be, worried about being burnt and sunburn. I hate being sunburned.
Yeah, and I get sunburned very easily too. And as far as contest prepping, if you're gonna put on tanning products, which you obviously will, if you're competing, you really don't need to use a tanning bed as a base coat before you start putting that stuff on there. A lot of people talk about getting the base coat with the tanning bed, then start putting on your first coat, your second coat, then the final coat for the show. If you're gonna go through that process, you don't have to do the tanning bed. Now, again, if you're getting ready for the beach and stuff like that, or a photo shoot or something like that, a natural tan is going to look a lot better than using like a bodybuilding contest product. So yeah, you do want to use the tanning bed for that. And the process is like Anthony said, you just want to get ready for it. You don't want to go in there and get burnt. It's the same thing, kind of like going to the gym. If you want to build big legs, you're not going to have somebody go in the gym the first day and make them do 10 sets of 20 squats the first time they go in the gym. You're going to have them do a little bit the first time, a couple days later do a little more, a couple days later do a little more. And that's kind of the same process with tanning. If you want to go tanning 3 times, don't go in for an hour right off the bat. I mean, you shouldn't be in there an hour anyway, but you get my point. Go in for a few minutes, just get a little exposure, then do a little more, then do a little more, and you won't get burnt. That way you'll get good color.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So I guess this is from one pale, pasty person to another. Mm-hmm. How do you avoid getting sunburn? Obviously, aside from having a base tan, and what do you do if you are sunburned? So I'm curious what remedies you have used.
Oh, man. I don't even have good advice on this because I get burnt almost every single time. But as far as that's the key. Don't get burnt in the first place. Yeah. And again, that just comes down to little exposure over time. If you go out, again, I'm very pale. I'm probably even more pale than you. If I were to walk right out into the sun and stay in there for a half hour with, high IV rays and stuff like that. UV rays. What's IV? Intravenous. You see, I don't know anything about this shit because I don't tan. But if I were to go out with a high UV rays for like a half hour, I'll burn. I'll turn orange. I'll be a lobster. So the point is you have to slowly build up to it. So you have to just expose yourself a little bit. And I'm talking like 10 or 15 minutes the first time if you're really, really fair skinned. Then you go out 20 minutes, 30 minutes, take it from there.
Yeah, one of the things too, see with me is my mom and my sisters have great genetics. They could literally tan in the shade. I guess my dad's genetics, and I burn so easily. So for me, one of the things too, and a lot of people who are pale who want to get tan think like this. I don't have to put anything on my skin. I'll just go out and I'll tan a little. But for me, one of the things that helped me get the best tan ever is actually putting on SPF. Yeah. That actually really makes a huge difference because it controls how much is hitting your skin, and will actually let a little bit touch your skin in order to tan. So if I put on like SPF 30, I'll usually get tan. If I don't put any of it on, I'll burn. And obviously, it depends how long I'm exposed to the sun. I mean, aside from that, obviously, duh.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I do the same thing too. I don't even bother going out without putting it on now, unless, like I said, there's no rays out. Then I'll be okay. But if it's a sunny day, I don't even bother not using it. Always use it.
Yeah, because I'd rather be pale than burnt.
Oh yeah, there's nothing worse than that.
Burnt. Oh my God, remember sunburn? The worst is when you have sunburn and you have to bench.
Oh yeah, that's some painful stuff, man.
It's
almost unbearable, actually.
Yeah, it's the worst. When I was a kid, I used to get burned so bad. I hated it. But like I said, my sisters could literally tan in the shade, so lucky. All right, so now let's talk about back to bodybuilding, back to the stage, back to physique, men's fitness, women's fitness. So let's compare the different types of tanning products, man. So you've had more experience than me. I've only used 2 products, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But name all the ones you've known and you've tried, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, there's a bunch. I mean, the standard and it's been around the longest is obviously Protan. People still use that today. That's probably my least favorite, and I think a lot of competitors agree with me, but for some reason, so many people still use it. So you have Protan, you have Jantana, which is probably like the closest to Protan, which again, it's been around a while. A lot of people use it, but I'm not really a fan. Protan, Jantana, and then you have Dream Tan, which people either love it or hate it, and it seems to be a lot of natural organization and natural competitors love it, but a lot of people in the NPC hate it. And a lot of NPC shows actually ban it, and they don't even allow it because it's very...
I don't understand why.
It's very messy, too. Like, if you're putting it on, it's very easy for it to get everywhere, but that just comes down to the person using it anyway, but it has the potential because you're slapping it on, and it's not a spray, and, that too. But if you put it on correctly, it's a great product and looks great, and the key is to putting it on correctly. Most people don't know how to do that. And then I've also used Liquid Sun Rays, which out of all of those is probably the newest out of all of them. It's been around for a while now, but it came out relatively recent compared to these other products. And I got to be honest with you, I love that product, and it's not like Dream Tan where it's muddy and it's a big process to put on. But I would put those two, my preference, I would put those two as my favorite. I wouldn't even use Protan, and I wouldn't even use Jantana. That's my experience.
Yeah, for me, the first time I competed, I think also with every person is going to respond to a different type of tanning product you put on. So for me, when I first started, I used Protan. I put on Protan. I believe you start putting it on 7 days before, and that just made a mess everywhere. I had to sleep in old sheets because it's all over the place. You have to wear it, for 7 days with all your clothes on, and every day you basically put on another layer until obviously the show day when you're good, and you just keep putting more and more on. And I noticed I didn't get as dark. I used the Dream Tan number 2, the red bronze one. Literally take a dab on your skin, put it on your skin, and slap it in. 1 or 2 coats of that, and you're good to go. That stuff is the best. You don't even have to show up with a tan on. Yeah. I like to put it on at least the day before. I always put a coat on just so I have it on. I'll sleep in old sheets, and then I'll just redo my tan in the morning. This way it's less to do that, for the contest time, and I can focus on just pumping up and whatever. But yeah, definitely the Dream Tan number 2, the red bronze, probably my favorite. But like I said, the Protan was very blotchy for me. It had like those little spots all over my body, and I exfoliated really well. I scrubbed really well, and it was still all over. And it took forever for the Protan to come off. Like I said, Dream Tan, I put it on, maybe 2 or 3 coats, and I was good to go. It came off right away, and I wasn't blotchy at all.
Yeah, Protan, the problem with that is you're basically never going to get dark enough. It doesn't matter how many coats you apply of this stuff, you're never going to get dark enough with Pro Tan alone. They started making new stuff where they have like a stage ready thing. I forget what it's called after you put the base coat of Pro Tan on. And the base coat of Pro Tan used to be just all there was. But even the new thing is just not dark enough. That's the problem. And again, you have to put layer on layer on layer of that stuff. So you're going to have to start days out. Your sheets are going to get messy. You're going to get it everywhere. And the other thing what's nasty about that is when you sweat and you have coats of Pro Tan on you, that Pro Tan it'll seep into your clothing. So if you're wearing a white t-shirt and you're walking around with Pro Tan on, even if you rinsed it, if you start sweating, that'll come out into your white t-shirt and it'll start turning red. It's pretty gross. So this happens even after the show. So Pro Tan, honestly, I'd list it as almost useless. It depends what you're using it for. But if you're getting stage ready, I wouldn't even bother with that product. The Dream Tan, I've seen that too in many cases. People who don't even put a base coat on. Pale as me, walk into a show and then just start slapping Dream Tan on. You know, you're going to have to spend a little time. And like you said, it's going to take more time backstage. But you know what? If you don't want to go through that whole process of putting base coats on upon base coats, and you walk in and you apply a good, nice coat of Dream Tan, you can get stage ready the day of as far as color. So that
you have
makes
to get
it really
number
convenient.
2 though. Don't get Dream Tan number 1, which is what's the other flavor?
So number 2 is the red bronze, and then the first one it's I think it's gold brown.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah, it's a goldish brown. And yeah, I've never seen that look good on anybody. Red bronze is a very good color. Again, if you apply it correctly. The problem is with Dream Tan is if you apply it wrong, it could look terrible and it could hide all your cuts. That's the problem with Dream Tan too if you don't apply it correctly. If you apply it correctly, it'll probably be the best tan you have. And again, it'll come off the fastest out of all of them. It'll go on the fastest out of all of them. So it'll be very easy, but you got to practice putting that stuff on. The technique is you got to slap that into the skin. You can't just put it on your hand and glob it on because it will go on like mud.
Yeah, you have to literally slap it on your body and then just kind of rub it, slap it, rub it, you know. Yeah. Same thing like, you know, Friday night, man. You got to slap it around a little bit, you know. Yeah,
just slap it on a little bit, you know. But, you know, the point, too, that I got to bring up about Dream Tan that also a lot of people run into, and not many people, but I'm one of them, actually. Dream Tan doesn't stick to everyone's skin the same way. Again, everybody's a little bit different, but some people just have certain types of skin that just doesn't take really well to Dream Tan. So for me, no matter how much I slap it in, it runs a lot. And the problem is, when you're backstage and you're on stage, a lot of times it's very hot. You know, most competitions, the atmosphere is very hot, sweaty, a lot of people. If this stuff is not sticking to you, it's going to run a lot. And anybody who's been backstage or seen competitors on stage with runny physiques, you know, the tan is running, their physiques don't look good. You know, and you don't want to have that be the reason that you don't place well, you're tan. So you have to practice with this stuff before you go to the show. Don't ever apply something the day of the show that you haven't practiced with. If your body doesn't take well to Dream Tan, even if it's the best color, don't even try using it, because if it starts running, it's going to ruin your physique. You know, you might have to go with something different. I've found out of all those products, the only one that sticks to my skin the best, that actually sticks to my skin, is Liquid Sun Rays. So if I was going with a product where I knew I needed to stick, I would go with Liquid Sun Rays. But that's myself. If Dream Tan sits on your physique and sticks nice, go with that.
Did you ever try putting on a base coat, though?
A base coat of what? Of Dream Tan? Yeah, I've done it 2 ways, actually. I've done the base coat the night before and slept in it, and then put on the final coat the day of. I've done that.
Was that better?
That was better. The only problem is the base coat still ran way too much. So I had to fix up the base coat and then slap more on top of it. So unfortunately, you know, my skin, it just doesn't hold it that well. I don't know why. But I've seen that with other people too, for whatever reason.
Yeah, now the new thing seems to be that a lot of people are getting sprayed there. The problem is, with what I've seen from most of them, not to say that all those people are not good, but what I've seen is just it's not dark enough. You have to be really, really dark. And sometimes those booths that spray you right then and there in the competition, they have a line of people, so they're just trying to get you in and out, and you won't be dark enough. I've seen that so many times. You want to be as dark as possible. And one of my other pet peeves also, you have to do your face. Do your face, make your face match your body. I cannot stand when someone has a great physique and their face is a totally different color. I hate that. I think that turns the judges off as well. So make sure you put the same amount of Dream Tan on your face as you do your body. This way you blend on stage, because you do not want to be, you know, look like your head was taken off your body and put it on someone else's.
Yeah. And the other thing too with, getting spray tan is a lot of people, and it's crazy to me because like when me and you used to compete, this was something we used to pay attention to, but now nobody even it seems to give it a second thought. When somebody's spray tanning at the show, find out what tanning product they're using. So many people just say, "Oh, I'm letting them tan me." When you ask what product are you using, or whatever they're spraying me with. If they're spraying you with Pro-Tan, you're not going to look that good. No matter, even if a professional puts it on you, the product itself is not going to get you as dark as another product. If they're spraying you with liquid sun rays, you're going to get a lot darker. Jantana is probably going to be a little bit darker, but still, I wouldn't pay money for someone to spray me with Jantana. That's me personally.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. So have you ever used that stuff? I want to talk about this before we move on quick. I forget what it's called. I think it's called hot stuff, and you put it on. It's supposed to bring out your vascularity.
Yeah, I've actually never used that before. I've used some stuff that I like. I like putting on stuff that's like gives you a little sheen. So you could use like muscle juice. I don't know if you've used that before.
No, I've never used anything like that gives me a sheen.
That's good. That adds a nice little touch again. But if you're using Dream Tan, you don't have to. It already has it in there. But if you're using another product, it definitely is beneficial. The hot stuff, I've never used that. I've heard that before. But the thing is, you could bring your vascularity out without having to spray something on you. I don't know if have you used it before?
No, I've never used it, but my worry with that would be that it would just irritate your skin. So yes. I wouldn't use that unless you've tried it before.
That's why I haven't used it.
Tried it a couple of times. Yeah, I would be afraid that it would irritate my skin, and then you'd hold water. Remember, any irritation to the skin is going to make you hold water. So that's one thing that you want to avoid, especially if your goal is obviously to win a contest. You do not want to hold water under the skin. It's not a good thing there. All right, so let's talk about removing tanning products. So again, if we said like Dream Tan usually comes off rather easy, but one of the things that you could do to help remove any tanning products, because this stuff will stick on your skin for so long, baby oil. You can literally rub baby oil on your skin and exfoliate and all that stuff, and it'll come out. So that's one of the easy way to remove the tanning products. But I know when I used the Pro-Tan, that shit never came out.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
It never came off.
Pro-Tan, you can expect that a week later, you're probably still going to have like 85% of your tan. And then a week later, you might start being able to get it off. And the problem is, it breaks off in little areas at a time.
You look blotchy.
Yes, you could scrape. It's almost like you're peeling off dead skin. Yeah, so it looks it looks like you're suffering from some kind of skin disease where some of it peeled off, the other's still on, and it's gonna look dark for a week, then it's going to look terrible and blotchy for another week, then it's going to come off. That's going to be the process with Pro-Tan. Dream Tan is going to come off almost immediately. Like I said, mine doesn't even stay on my skin in the first place, so 1 or 2 days of showering, it's pretty much gone. For Anthony, he might still have a little base coat for a couple days, but it's still going to come off pretty evenly because it's a little more oily, it's a little more muddy. So it's not going to come off like in paper, like it breaks off like little like pieces of paper, if that makes any sense. So Pro-Tan, there's really nothing you can do. It's going to stay on for a while. Jantan is probably going to do that too. I don't really know off the top of my head. Like I said, liquid sun rays stuck really nice. It actually faded pretty evenly, so I didn't have a problem with that. But again, it stayed on so damn long. So if you get a really dark tan and you're going to go back to work on Monday and you don't want to look weird, it's something you gotta be aware of. Dream Tan, you can definitely get it off by the following Monday if you're competing on Saturday. You might have a little bit.
The baby oil really helps that.
Yeah,
though.
You might have a little bit left on you, but it's not going to look weird or anything like that. You might just have a little bit of darker skin tone, but it's not going to look like you have a tanning product on you. All the other ones, you're going to show up to work the next day, the Monday, school, whatever it is, and you're going to look like you have something on you.
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys. Well, that was today's episode. I think that was rather informative on stage prep, shaving, tanning, and manscaping. Definitely a good episode, guys. If you know anyone who's about to compete, please share this episode with them, as this will probably help them with the whole shaving part of it, the tanning part of it. There's a lot of good things in here that not many people talk about. Like Pete said, when we first started competing, this is like literally stuff that you read. Make sure you're shaving. That was it. So we pretty much went in full detail here on what to do and what not to do. So be sure to share this episode with all your friends. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review, as that always helps this channel grow. Make this official. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, whatever you're listening to this. Make sure you subscribe so you always get new updates. And if you guys want to head on over to NewYorkMuscleRadio.com/getjacked, that's a free 12-week program, our gift to you. And again, stop by NewYorkMuscleRadio.com, pick up some supplies, some products. If you want to say hello type in a listener question, and we'll get to it on the After Hours show. All right, man, your turn.
All right, guys. Pete and Anthony, New York Muscle Radio, and we're out.
Enjoyed this episode of New York Muscle Radio? Make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave us a 5-star review, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, New York Muscle Radio.